Hello, Vilcom, bienvenue, konnichiwa. Time for another Amish Inquisition episode 433. Or the 33. Ooh. On Sunday, the 16th of August, 2026. I'm Phil.
Hi, I'm Ben.
And hopefully down the line, we're joined by Doc Brown from Prometheus Lens Podcast. Can you hear us, Doc?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Oh, thank God for that. I just need to make sure the listeners can hear us because, as I was saying to Ben, we had a nightmare last week, me and Matt. We were talking off air about the difficulties in streaming and technology and how sometimes everything just seems to be stacked against us, right, mate?
Yep. It's the tech gods smiting us.
Smite me, O mighty smiter.
Oh, almighty Elon. Who are the tech gods now? Elon,
Oh, they're
Jeff.
just tech bros. None of those are gods.
We get a guy on called Chris Tolworthy, Doc, who's well into like Atlantis and ancient mythology and whatnot, and he calls them the space gods because the way he sees it in the future, Elon Musk, Enki Musk, or Jeff Bezos, they're basically going to take over space and be like the new rulers, the new gods amongst men.
That's how they envision themselves, I'm sure.
Yeah. Nice work if you can get it.
Yeah, I just when you think about it, like they talk about mining asteroids and all this shit, and I don't know where you stand on space and asteroids. And well, let's start with that then. Are you a flat earther, or do you believe in asteroids and the potential for mining them?
Well, me, I'm in the truther community, but I'm the black sheep. It's like, I think flat Earth is really interesting, and they raise a lot of good, compelling points. But I tell people when they try to argue with me, it's like, well, you believe in the Bible, right? So don't the Bible describe a flat, stationary plane? And I'm like, well, yeah, it does. I said, but in my opinion, it's like, God met them where they were at, They believed in a flat, stationary plane, so he met them where they were. He spoke to them on a level that they could understand, and I compare it to the birds and the bees. I'm like, you remember your parents, when you asked where children come from when you were small, you couldn't comprehend the complexity of that subject, so they just broke it down on a dummy level so you could understand the basis of the question you ask. So they tell you about the stork, or when a man loves a woman, they kiss and a bump appears. It's like, did your parents lie to you? No, they just met you where you were. That way you could grasp a very complex idea. So that's kind of my viewpoint on it.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, what I've noticed is sometimes people get to a certain point where everything is a conspiracy and nothing is true. And nothing's ever enough, And I kind of get it. I don't know. When you think about something like simulation theory or the Matrix, something like that, basically everything is on the table, If this reality is some sort of construct, then the laws of physics can be suspended. The realm that you think you live in could just be inside a machine somewhere, an alien machine, and yeah, do you not agree? Everything's on the table.
I think it's a bit weird because, obviously speaking from my personal viewpoint, this is my simulation and you two are just NPCs. So who knows what the algorithm's going to throw at me next. It's a bit Truman Show, I think.
Yeah. I'm guessing you don't buy conspiracy theory, Doc, if you're a firm believer in the Bible and Christianity.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of conspiracy in the Bible. That's what I try to tell people. That thing's chock full of not just conspiracy theories, but actual conspiracies, plots, and deceptions going on inside that text.
Well, one of the things I find interesting about what you're doing is this Esau story from the Old Testament.
Yeah, that was something I just kind of stumbled into. Honestly, I was never really like a Bigfoot guy or a Bigfoot enthusiast. I come from East Tennessee, and that's kind of Bigfoot country anyway, the Appalachian Mountains. And but I mean, I had a couple of Bigfoot stickers and a shirt or two, but I just had the kind of 30,000-foot general overview. But I had Trey Smith from God in a Nutshell on one of my first shows I ever done. And we were just talking about different things, but he brought up Bigfoot. He's like, "Hey, next time I'm out that way," he said, "I'll holler at you. We'll go Bigfoot hunting." And Genesis 25:25 just popped into my head out of nowhere. And for those that's not familiar, that's the birth of Esau. And it says the first one came out red, covered in hair from head to toe like a hairy cloak. And I was like, man, that sounds pretty squatchy to me. And that just kind of sent me on the path, man.
Just people who aren't familiar with the Old Testament and the genealogies, just fill in who Esau was.
Yeah, Esau, when you go down through the line, you get a lot of twins in the Old Testament. So you get Cain and Abel. One was good, one was bad. And you have that curse in Genesis 3:15, of course, I'll put enmity between her seed and thy seed, talking to the serpent. And the first progeny is there's enmity there. There's war. One kills the other. God favors the younger. You get on down the line, and you have Isaac, who is the son of Abraham, the favored son of Abraham, and he was the younger also, because his firstborn was Ishmael through Hagar, and she was an Egyptian princess. And then he ends up getting Sarah pregnant, and she has Isaac, and he was the favored son, the chosen seed. So from him, you get Jacob and Esau. And just like all the other ones, the angel comes to Rebekah and says, there's two nations, two peoples in your womb, and they battle amongst each other. So here is kind of echoing back to that Genesis 3:15. And then it gives this description. He's like, but the younger will rule over the older. In the biblical times, that was complete opposite of what the culture was. The eldest son got the birthright, and the youngest served the older. So that was a huge red flag to the ancient reader reading that story. But then it gets even stranger, because instead of just talking about their genealogies, it goes into great detail about their birth. And it says that Esau was born covered in hair from head to toe like a hairy cloak. And then it gives this extra little detail that Jacob is clutching the heel. Once again, I think calling back to Genesis 3:15, because you can easily imagine twins in a womb. The first one, his foot has to kind of push on the head of the other, bruising the head to exit the womb. And then here the author adds this extra detail that the youngest is clutching the heel, bruising the heel. So I think it's echoing straight back to Genesis 3:15 and this seed war, like L.A. Marzulli likes to say.
And isn't there something about Saint Michael trodding his heel on the head of the serpent or something? Is that from Revelation or something? Or am I totally making this up?
No, I know a lot of people talk about that curse in Genesis 3:15, and they say it's kind of like a prophecy and like a foreshadowing of Christ. Right. That ultimately the serpent, the Nakash of Satan, would bruise the heel of the chosen seed, but ultimately the chosen seed would bruise the head, of the serpent. And there's some quotes too. I think it's in the New Testament. It talks about you'll be given power to tread on serpents and things like that. So
there's a lot of serpent iconography, isn't there? There's a story of is it Moses and his staff turn into a serpent, I can't remember exactly.
Yeah.
It all goes back to the garden, doesn't it?
I think so. I think it's echoing back to that. And once you get into like the original Hebrew, it kind of throws you for a loop, because we're so used to just reading the English. But Hebrew is one of those languages. There's no vowels. There's just consonants. So they insert consonants that they think, that the word could be. So when you have a word in Hebrew, it's just consonants. So you can find that same set of consonants in 20 different passages or more in the Bible, but that same word could be translated into 5 or 6 different words. So it's really important to go back and kind of relook at those and look at the different alterations of the translations and see kind of how they fit. And that serpent is one of those. When you look into Hebrew, it says it's called the Nakash. And yeah, that word can mean serpent, but it can also mean the shining one, or the one who practices divination.
Wow.
So it insinuates that this was a divine heavenly being on God's holy mountain that rebelled against God. And that fits more perfectly with all the other mythos of the world. Prometheus, the divine rebel, Enki, the divine rebel. So, I mean, to me, that makes a lot more sense than a walking, talking snake, because snakes don't talk. And when he talked to Adam and Eve in the garden, they wasn't afraid. Look at the context of that story. They just conversed with it openly, and they trusted this thing. So to me, that shows that this was a divine heavenly being in the garden that they seen every day, conversed with, and they trusted. They didn't act surprised at all that this, serpent talked.
Yeah. There's a book by Christian O'Brien called The Shining Ones, a really rare book. He died, I don't know, 20 odd years ago or something. And I look on eBay like every week or every month to see if there's any copies, because there's a few there's a famous David Eddings book which I've never read and written. He was like a fantasy author. I think he's died now. So it's similar to your Lord of the Rings man, Tolkien-esque, I think. And he had a series of books, I think, called The Shining Ones. So this concept has been with us for a long time. I mean, another connotation you think of is like Anunnaki and aliens and shit like that. But I don't know. I'm not really an aliens kind of guy, Doc.
Yeah, me neither. And all that stuff fits perfectly with the biblical paradigm. It's just they change the verbiage up. They try to just call it a different name because, in the biblical narrative, Genesis 6, it says the B'nai Ha Elohim, the sons of God, came down and bred with the daughters of men and gave them all this advanced technology and that they were worshipped as gods. That's exactly the Anunnaki story.
See, why would
they want to call it ancient aliens?
Well, yeah, but going back to the Nakash, why would they use Nakash and not, I don't know, like Elohim or another word that would denote an angel or a fallen one or something, you think?
I think it was just another like subclass or job title, the shining one, kind of just maybe a different verbiage to it. But when I got to looking through, especially writing for this book, The Epic of Esau, I stumbled across the book of Jasher, and it talks about Esau being this mighty hunter. Then you have Nimrod, who's also described as the mighty hunter, and that they battle against each other. And it kind of mirrors the Epic of Gilgamesh, because you have Enkidu, this man covered in hair, known as the mighty hunter. Gilgamesh was the mighty hunter. They battled to see who's supreme too. But in the book of Jasher, it says that basically he was like Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. He was this mighty hunter of a man, had to prove his worth, and he was jealous of this beastly man named Esau, and he wanted to show who the real mighty man was. So he gets a hunting party together and says that he goes and hunts him like a wild beast, and that the party splits off into 2 groups, and Esau sees them coming, and it says he hides himself in the wilderness, and then at the opportune moment jumps out and cuts off Nimrod's head and battles the other 2, and it says Gibborim, which is the same word used in the Hebrew text to describe Nephilim giants. So he takes on Nimrod, kills him, and then kills 2 of his Gibborim single-handedly in combat, and that the other hunting party hears all the commotion and comes to run to see what's going on. But it says that he takes the time to steal Nimrod's garments. And it said, and through these garments, he was able to prevail and rule over all the nations. And that he runs back home, he hides those garments in his tent, and then he goes into his brother Jacob's tent. And there it picks up perfectly where the book of Genesis talks about the trading of the birthright. So according to Genesis, Esau was the firstborn. The birthright was his. But in Genesis, it just says very ambiguously that Esau comes in from the field one day exhausted, and his brother's preparing red stew. and he asks his brother for some of the red stew. And then his brother says, yeah, you can have some, but you're going to trade me your birthright. And then he trades the birthright for a freaking bowl of red stew. And then he even, yeah, it made no sense to me. But then he even makes this really ambiguous comment, really kind of melodramatic. And he says, what use is a birthright to me when I'm dead? Take it. And I'm like, dude, ain't nobody talking about death, dude. That's kind of melodramatic. And why would he be starving? He's the mighty hunter. He could have went and got a steak, a lion steak if he wanted one. But when you take that book of Jasher, it makes a lot more sense. He just killed the king and his guard. So it's modern context. You just killed the president. You got the feds after you. You're on the run. Probably sustained life-threatening injuries during this exchange. And so he went to his brother, and he's like, please hide me, protect me, sew up my wounds, give me some food, basically just, save my life. And Jacob, was the opportunist, and he was like, well, yeah, I'll help you, but you're going to give me the birthright. And so to me, that made a lot more sense. And then those garments tied right into Satan. When I got to look, I was like, what are these garments? And it said that basically, through all the other extra biblical books and stuff and their legends and stuff, that these were the supernatural garments from the Garden of God given to Adam as his covering. And that was the birthright. It went through the patriarchy. It went all the way through Adam, Enoch, Methuselah, Noah had them going over the boat, into the flood. And when you get into those other books, it says that those coverings was the skins, the coverings of the Nakash. And so when you get to Ezekiel 28 now, that's the connective tissue, because in Ezekiel 28 it says he's talking to this king of Tyre, condemning him. But the wording changes, man. All of a sudden it's no longer talking about a human. It's talking about the spiritual entity behind the king pulling the strings, because it says you were in the garden of God. Every precious stone was your covering. And it lists the 12 stones from the priestly ephod. Beryl, onyx, topaz, jasper, all these kinds of stones, and it's a Polaroid picture of the priestly ephod. So it's painting Satan in a priestly role. And it says, you were perfect in all your ways the day you were created, until iniquity was found in you. And then it even says, he profaned his sanctuaries. So it paints Satan in this priestly role, and we all know, according to Scripture, it's kind of like on earth as it is in heaven. When he gave Moses all the commandments to make the ephod, to make the temple, he said it was mirror images of the things in heaven. So when I read all that, and I was like, whether it's true or not, they believed, according to their legends and writings, that Satan was once the king and priest, basically, of creation. And at the fall, his position was taken from him, and his crown was ripped from him and given to Adam, to mankind. And that's when mankind was given dominion of the earth.
Wow. So like essentially two creation stories.
Yes. Like the gap theory.
Right. So an initial creation, and then the one that we hear about with Adam and Eve and the garden.
A twin story.
And so two falls then, presumably, as well.
Yes.
Wow.
And there's even two creations in Genesis, man, that people just look over. And I did for many years. When you get to day 6, it says, the Elohim, and that's plural.
Yeah.
It says the Elohim said, let us make man in our image. That's plural language right there, okay? And then, so it says, but male and female, they created them, right? So male and female was created at the same time on day 6. Then after this, you get the story of Adam and Eve, and everybody was like, oh, well, this is just a retelling of that same story, but more detail. But it contradicts itself if that's the case, because when you read that account, it says Adam was created from the dust of the ground before there was any vegetation laid upon the ground. Vegetation was laid out on day 3. So there was 2 separate events there, 2 creations. And when Adam and Eve were kicked out, they basically got put into the general population of those day 6 people. And that's who Cain was afraid of. I mean, if it was just them and Cain was kicked out of the family for killing his brother, he was all of a sudden worried about somebody killing him, people trying to kill him. Well, hell, who are those people if it's just them? No, it's those day 6 people that they're talking about.
Where were the proofreaders, man? This is ridiculous.
I mean, it does make sense that there was a population before Adam and Eve of some sort, which then Cain was he goes to the land of Nod, right? Doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And then he starts sort of being what would you call it, like an artificer, and you get these sort of descendants like Tubal Cain, and they all have this rep for manufacturing stuff and coming up with armor and weapons and warfare and tools and ironmongery and all this. And you think, yeah, if there's only the four of them, how does this work? It does suggest that the world is essentially populated before the Garden of Eden, which just completely contradicts what most of us are taught or what most of us know about the Old Testament and Genesis, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it throws people for a loop because it goes against their dogma and their teachings and what they've heard their whole life. But it's like, man, if you get rid of all that and just read the text and let it say what it says, I mean, it's pretty plain. It's just we have that cognitive dissonance. We've heard these certain stories, these certain dogmas and teachings for 20, 30, 40 years. Then all of a sudden somebody comes along that's removed all that and just read the text, and then they reevaluate it and come at you with these ideas, kind of like I'm talking about right now. And you immediately, those are what I call paradigm busters. It sends people into fight or flight mode, and most of the time it's fight. They will fight you or turn you off and just turn around and walk away because it's so contradictory to what they've been told, and they don't want their worldview shifted that much. You know, it's a shock.
Yeah, I think a lot of people struggle as well with translations and how this story has existed in written form probably at least since maybe the 6th century. I mean, that's the common thing, isn't it? The Septuagint, I think, because it was 70 priests or 70 Jewish learned men who sort of correlated and wrote this all down during the captivity in Babylon. And now we're reading it in English and through several translations. And so I think a lot of people are skeptical of the text just because of the nature of, a bit like Chinese whispers, the way things get changed, and different translators will have different interpretations and select the words that they think are right. Because like you mentioned before, we've no vowels to play with. So there's a certain amount of interpretation, I guess, isn't there?
No, there is. And that's the thing is like what I find is people are too set in their modern thinking and their modern interpretations, and their dogma comes into play, you know, because we all have our biases. We all have our conceived notions, if we're being honest. And if you're raised in the church, you know, and told these certain stories for, 20, 30 years or whatever, and then you get into translating, you're going to lean to that because that's your upbringing. That's what you were taught. But I loved Dr. Michael Heiser, and I don't agree with him 100%. I don't agree with anybody 100%. I think that's the best way to be. Yeah. But he was a really smart guy. And I love how he said, we screw up when we try to filter these ancient texts through our modern theology and thinking, because these people weren't thinking like that. You know, if you want to truly understand what they were trying to lay down, you need to step into their culture. So that means you need to be reading their legends and their lore. You need to be reading their cultural stuff and things like that, not just the Bible that you think's divine inspired, because all of those things will put you in the mindset of those people and what they were thinking. That way you could better properly understand what they're trying to say. But I think we just have this high-hatted notion that, we're so much smarter and so much more advanced, and this is what they really meant. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Got Ogle Woggle in the chat. Has Justin discussed the meaning of the Tower of Babel story yet? Well, that's going back to Nimrod as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, to me, man, and I got a lot of this from Michael Heiser because, I mean, I thought it was so amazing how he pieced this together, and it was totally in the ancient context. You know, he says that the Tower of Babel, in our modern context, we're just told that they tried to build this tall tower into the heavens, and then God came down, divided the languages. But when you get into Deuteronomy 32:8, it retells that story, but in more detail. And it says that not only were the tongues divided, it says the nations were divided amongst the B'nai Ha Elohim, the sons of God. And every time that B'nai Ha Elohim is used, it's talking about divine heavenly beings. And then when you get into Genesis 10, the telling of the nations, there's 70 listed there, and some translations say 72. But you have this 70, 72, and that's why the world is in like such shape that it's in now, because a lot of, non-believers and people that want to combat Christianity, I've seen it a million times, they try to use the fallen state of the world to show that God is unjust or not real. They're like, oh, if God's real, how come children get cancer? If God's real, how come there's so much trafficking, and all this other kind of stuff? If he's real, he's just shitty God. And I'm like, no. You're missing the whole Deuteronomy 32 worldview. And they held on to this in this Old Testament world, that the nations were divided amongst the sons of God. And it says that Yahweh, he says, Israel, Jacob is my allotted inheritance, that would be his people, his section. And when you get into like Psalms 82, that's a condemnation to those fallen sons of God, because he says, how long will you rule unjustly and show partiality to the wicked? You desire to live the eternal life, but you shall die and fall like any prince. So he's not talking about human rulers. He's talking about his divine sons of God that rebelled and are ruling unjustly. Jesus talks about it in the parable of the good tenant. In that story, a landowner leases out some land to some farmers, and they made an agreement that come first harvest, he would get the first fruits. But when first harvest come, he sent his messenger, which was, the prophets. And it says that the men killed the messengers and refused to pay what was due. So then he sent another one. They killed him. And then he says, well, I'll send my son. They won't harm my son. That's Jesus. And when the son shows up, they're like, oh, well, if we kill the son, there's no one to pass the inheritance to. Everything is ours. And they did. So, I mean, that was the story of Jesus and the retelling of the Tower of Babel. And that's why the world is in such shape it's in. And that's one of the main reasons Jesus came. When you read the Gospels, he goes to, it says he's at Caesarea Philippi. And it says he travels 6 days to a high mountain. The only mountain range in 6-day travel from Caesarea Philippi is Mount Hermon. That's where the fallen angels came down. That's where the rebellion started. It was ground zero.
Wow.
And there El ruled, that God El, with his 70 sons. And that's where they passed out judgment. So he goes up there. He chooses that location to transfigure, to show his glory. And it says that from there, when that happened, once he transfigured, he sent out his 70 disciples to preach the gospel and good news to all the nations. So that was him throwing down the spiritual battle flag and saying, your reign is over. I'm sending out my 70 against your 70, and I'm reclaiming the nations.
Wow. When you talk about these sort of rulers who are shining ones or men of renown, or however they're, Elohim, I think Nagash Elohim or something you mentioned. Do you think that these are actually humans, like complete humans, or are they like humans that are possessed by the spirits of the fallen angels, or are they actually like immaterial beings of some sort? How do you think it worked?
Yeah, I think the whole Genesis 6 was physical, because when you get into Jude, it says that they traded their first estate. And when you get into the Greek, they traded their okaterion, which is their spirit bodies, basically. And they become flesh, and that's how they was able to breed with women.
Right.
And I think this is the Anunnaki story, because they were human, but they had great abilities and knowledge, and they were worshipped as gods for all their knowledge and stuff. And from them interbreeding with the humans, that's where you get the stories of the Nephilim, the mighty men of old. And so once the flood happened, that was God trying to level the playing field for his chosen seed. That way his seed wouldn't be choked out. Because if you go back and you read the story of Noah, it says that, once again, you got to go to the Hebrew. When you read the English, it says that Noah was the only righteous man left. And we're like, oh, well, he was holy. He was without sin. Well, no. I mean, as soon as he gets off the boat, he plants a vineyard and he gets pissed drunk till he passes out naked. A righteous man don't do that. But when you get into the Hebrew, it says that he was the only one tamim. And it says he was tamim in his generations. So I was talking about family trees, genealogies. And that word tamim in Hebrew is always used in the sacrificial context, talking about the purity of the sacrificial animals, the purity of the blood. So it was saying that he was the only one uncorrupted by the fallen angel DNA.
Wow. The only one left. The only man left who didn't have some Nephilim blood in him.
Yeah, so God just kind of tried to level the playing field there. But then you get the whole Tower of Babel event, and this is another set of the sons of God, a whole different set. So those ones were put in the prison in Tartarus.
Oh, right. And now, this is important because people talk about post-flood Nephilim, and they make a deal out of this because it suggests that, well, God failed. That's the big story, you know. If he sent the flood to wipe out the Nephilim, how come we have Nephilim after the flood?
Yeah, and that's something I tell people. I'm like, well, that's you doing a lot of presuming. You presume that God wanted to wipe them out. He didn't say that. When you get into the book, it just says that that he brought the flood and everything. He said, and there was Nephilim on the earth in those days. He said, before and after. So he's saying that they're there after. So if God doesn't fail, in my opinion. So it's like if he meant to totally wipe them out, he would have done that. But he didn't. So to me, that signals that he didn't mean to completely wipe them out. So to me, it was like he meant to just level the playing field, to give that pure bloodline that was going to bring the Messiah a fighting chance, you know?
Right. What Nephilim do you think are about today, Doc?
I think, man, if you go back far enough, hell, we're all mutts. I mean, we probably all got a little bit of that stuff in us, man. But it's like, I think that's one of the powerful things that happened with Christ at the cross. It's like he opened it up for everybody. You know, he said, "My kingdom is not of this world," and so therefore, you know, even the New Testament talks about preach the gospel unto all creatures. So it's all about free will choice at this point.
Suggesting not just humans, but hybrids as well.
I think so. I mean, because even like with me, I'm the Christian heretic. I'm what they call a serpent seed guy. And I just come across this like in the past couple of years. But like when you get into Genesis, man, you have Adam and Eve in the garden. And we always talk about this apple, but when you go back and read, there is no apple there in that story. And it just says that she partakes of this tree. And in the English, it says eats. But that same Hebrew word, I got to studying it out many times in the Old Testament. That same word is translated to enjoys. So she partakes of this tree and she enjoys. And trees are phallic symbols, you know, universally. You find it everywhere. And so I'm like, well, okay, she takes of this tree and she enjoys. And then it says that then she goes to her husband and he too enjoys. And so I was exposed to this through this woman named Dr. Joy Pugh. If you've not had her on, she's an excellent discussion. Definitely have her on. Right. But she was like, so, okay, she said, they partake of the tree. She goes to her, she enjoys. She goes to her husband. He too enjoys. She said, and then all of a sudden, God shows up, she said, and they cover their sexual reproductive organs. And she said, I'll give you an analogy. She said, when we were kids, she said, we had cookies above the refrigerator, but we couldn't have those cookies before supper. She said, but every once in a while, my mother would slip out to do something. Me and my sister would climb up there and steal some cookies. She said, but one time we got caught. And she said, when my mother walked in, she said, the first thing we done was
cover your genitals.
We covered our mouth. That's what you do when you get caught having sex. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
She said, so that's where the sin was. That's where the transgression was. That's what they wanted to hide. She said, so Adam and Eve, where they transgressed and sinned and were ashamed of, that's what they wanted to hide. And she said, and when you get to the cursings too, she said, this is Old Testament. You know, it was eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. All the cursings correlated to the crime. You usually got the opposite of what you were trying to achieve. She said, so when you look at those cursings, she said, they're all about sexual reproduction. She said, I will put enmity between her seed and thy seed, talking to the Nakash. So it says outright that he's going to have a seed. And he's going to be at war, at enmity with the woman. And then said, I'll increase your menstruations. So, and then he said, I'll increase the pain of your labor and childbearing. So all these curses have to do with sexual reproduction. And then she said, then look at the etymology of the names of the children. She said, Cain's name means acquired. She said, what loving mother would name their child acquired? She said, because he was acquired by Adam. He was adopted. It wasn't his. And she said, and Abel, his name means breath. She said, because he was in the similitude of his father, Adam, who was a lifeless being until the breath of God entered his body. And she said, then we know Cain kills Abel. She said, then later, Seth is born. She said, the etymology, his name means the replacement.
Wow. The spare.
Adam's replacement.
Nice.
Gosh. So Cain is the serpent seed. He's the first generation of the serpent seed when Eve has it away with well, we're saying serpent. That's shorthand for people familiar with the Garden of Eden story, but we're suggesting that the serpent is actually a humanoid type of being, the shining one. Yeah.
And the tree is its dick.
Well, again, a tree. what do people research? Their family tree. A tree is also
genealogy,
symbolic. Yeah, in that way, and an apple and a seed. Mm. You plant the apple and it grows a new tree. It is rife with sort of reproductive symbology, isn't it? So where do we go from Cain then with the dragon seed, the serpent seed, however you want to call it?
Well, see, that's one thing I was leading up to was like, I don't think it's the bloodline necessarily that condemns you. It's your free will choices. I think the bloodline can influence you, but you have the power to break those, generational curses, so to speak, because if Cain was a serpent seed, and I think he really was, because even when you get in the New Testament, John comes out and says Cain was of the wicked one. He was of the evil one. I mean, he comes right out and just says it. And then Paul in 2 Corinthians, I think it's chapter 11, when I read that, that was the final nail in the coffin for me, because he says, I have a jealousy for you. He said, a righteous jealousy. He said, I prepared you as a bride for one husband. He said, but I am afraid that you will be beguiled, which means wholly seduced, that you will be beguiled as Eve was beguiled by that ancient twisting serpent. So the whole context of that conversation is sex. And said he prepared her for one husband, but she was beguiled by that ancient twisting serpent.
Wow.
But when Cain gets pissed off that his sacrifices are not being accepted, and he's contemplating, killing his brother, it says that God goes to him and tries to reason with him. And he's like, hey, if you do well, will you not succeed? And if you do not do well, he said, evil lurks at the door. And he says, these feelings that you have are not your own. You must rule over them. So if he was doomed just because of his genealogies, why would God waste his time to talk to him?
That's a great point.
So that's why I think the blood's not really what condemns you. I mean, it can influence you, but you ultimately have the free will choice to make the decisions that you want to do. But when you follow that genealogy, though, you get just hints of them. So you get the Cain and Abel story, and Cain's the wicked one. And then later, like I said, you come to Esau. And to me, that's a Polaroid picture of Genesis 3:15. That says two nations, two peoples are in your womb, just like in the garden. They're at war with each other. There's enmity between the two seeds, just like Genesis 3:15. And it says it draws this distinction, saying that one is clearly different from the other. It's not poetic language or hyperbole, folks. It says he comes out red, covered in hair, from head to toe like a hairy cloak, and his brother has to kill a goat and wrap it around him like a blanket to fool his blind father. This is literal. And this is what the fertility gods looked like of that time. You got
like
the wild
men. Satyrs.
And Pan.
Hercules always had a lion skin cloak.
Yeah, and Rebecca was having trouble conceiving during this time.
Yeah, she was old, man.
Yeah, so I mean, she grew up in the house of Laban. When you go back and you read, she grew up in a pagan house worshiping these pagan gods, because even when Eleazar, Abraham's cupbearer, goes to this land to find a bride for his master's son, when he goes up to Laban, he's like, oh, I'm from this land. I serve Abraham, and we serve the God Yahweh. Well, I think his response is pretty telling. He says, this Yahweh you speak of, I can speak neither good nor evil, because he don't know him. So she grew up, an adult age woman worshiping pagan gods. So if she was having trouble reproducing and giving a male heir, that was the number one thing a woman had to do back then. If you couldn't do that, you were replaced. You were kicked out and replaced by a younger woman. That's why Sarah was so freaked out and gave Abraham Hagar.
Yeah.
So I tell people, I'm like, the text don't come right out and say it, but all signs point to this for me. It's like she was desperate, and someone in a desperate situation, would it be out of the question that they would pray to and go to a fertility god that they worship their entire life to ask to bless their womb?
I mean, I'm sure we all know people or ourselves maybe have had trouble conceiving. And in those circumstances, there's probably nothing that you won't try.
Yeah. And so, and like I said, and you get that description, he's totally different. The angel says 2 nations, 2 peoples in your womb. Well, how can that be? Oh, well, that's poetic language. Oh, they're talking about the future. No, they wasn't thinking like that, folks. You got to stay within the context of the story. You can't put your modern interpretations on stuff. And it gives you that description, bruising of the head, Jacob clutching the heel, bruising the heel. It is a Polaroid picture of Genesis 3:15. And so I tell people, I think what happened is Satan tried to flip the script. And he's like, okay, I know about this curse, but the eldest gets the birthright. So I'm going to flip them in the womb to where my chosen seed comes out first, and then therefore he gets the birthright and we get the reign. But that's why the angel, God knows all things. He sent the angel before the birth and told Rebekah, no, I know it's normal that the oldest rules, but in this case, no, the younger is going to rule over the older. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he don't get. I was going to say he don't get much luck, that Satan chap. And then I think, well, no. When I look around the world, he seems like, there are those people who think that he is the ruler of this realm essentially, and that God's the ruler of the realm after.
Yeah, I mean that's what Scripture says. It says he's the ruler of this world, and even when he tempts Jesus in the wilderness, he tells him, just all you got to do is bend the knee, the knee, and I will give you all the nations of the world. Jesus didn't refute him because he knew they were his to give, because even Satan says that they are mine to give to whom I please.
Wow.
In the book of Revelations, he does that. He chooses someone to give it to.
It's kind of terrifying, really.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty. I don't know if it's cool. I kind of like, if I was going to pick a ruler of this realm, Satan wouldn't be my first choice.
You got to put up with what you've got. Haven't you?
I think I'd pick Klaus Schwab over that.
Are they the same people?
Yeah, he's dropped off the map now, though, hasn't he? He's gone.
He's gone to the next realm.
Eat some bugs.
Yeah. You will own nothing, and you should be happy.
That was a good impersonation.
I think it was it was rumored that his daughter or his daughter-in-law was going to take over. I don't know if it's come to pass yet.
Imagine there's a long ritual process.
They're obsessed with rituals. We had a solar eclipse on Wednesday. A partial
I've seen
solar
some of the
eclipse.
videos.
Yeah, so I made sure I stayed indoors, got the kids inside. They're going to try something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you believe in this sort of timing occult rituals for significant times and dates, often astrological alignments and things like that?
I think they do. I think they believe in it. They try to harness this stuff, and then it's also like loose farming. If they can get on the news and talk about something and scare people so much, they can kind of harness that fear energy and try to use it, to manipulate things. I firmly believe in that, because why else would they go through so much trouble to correlate and make these things rhyme? Like, in 2020, I can't remember who done it, but somebody took all the news clippings from like around the world, and it was like on the same day, because they even had timestamps, and all of them was like repeating a script word for word, talking about the whole COVID thing. And somebody took it and they just clipped it and cut them all and kind of piled them together like in a mosaic, where they were all talking at the same time, and it was in time. I mean, they were reading word for word this script. So I mean, I think they do that on purpose.
We had was it on Friday? Yeah, Friday night. On Friday night at 7:00, the government set out this signal where everyone in our country's mobile phone got an emergency alert, and it's like a weird high-pitched screaming noise, and then you open your phone and it's a text, and it was to warn us about potential wildfires.
Yeah, you have them all the time in the States with the missing children alerts and things.
Yeah, the Amber Alerts.
Yeah, Amber Alerts. Yeah. So I guess you just ignore them most of the time. I mean, I switched mine off when they were testing it a couple of years ago. But
yeah, I've got a new handset in the last 12 months, so mine went off. So it was a nice reminder to disable that shit. You're not having my loosh.
Well, I was getting at, I think it's probably going to get to the point where it is like the States, and it will be, rather than just saving it for, the missiles are imminent. It'll be everything.
Yeah, but you can't even silence them here in the States. It's like I keep my phone on silent 99% of the time, but if an Amber Alert comes through, your phone will start singing.
Really? You can't disable it?
Yeah. It
That's
just
weird.
overrides it.
How come we can over here?
Powers. I don't know.
We can on the handset. You can
Yeah,
turn
you go
them
into
off.
the settings, you can turn them off.
Wow, I didn't know that.
You might be able to, but I don't know how. But I know I always keep mine on silent. But anytime there's an Amber Alert, man, my phone will start singing.
Yeah.
Oh, Oggle Woggle on the chat as well. How do you interpret John 1:1? Oh gosh, the famous John 1:1.
Is he like that kung fu guy, John 1:1?
Now, John,
in the beginning was the word.
Yeah.
Go on, Justin. You're the Bible expert. We don't know nothing about it.
No, I'm not. Like I said, I'm just 10% smarter than the general population, so I'm technically.
Well, that's 20% more than me. So.
Absolutely.
Now, me, I mean, I kind of just take that, literally, like the word, the logos. Christ is the embodiment of the logos. He's in my faith and belief that he is, God in the flesh. But I think that, that's literal. He was there in the beginning. And when you go to the book of Job, he's going through all these tests, and finally he gets aggravated enough. He starts, lashing out at God and questioning God. And he comes back with him and kind of just, bops him on the head. He's like, where were you when I hung the stars? Where were you when I laid its foundations? And all this kind of stuff, putting him in his place. And one of the things he says, about the foundations, he says, where were you when I hung the foundations? He said, when the morning stars, the B'nai Ha Elohim, sang for joy at the sight of creation. So that shows you that they were there. They witnessed it. They're basically, like Timothy Alberino says, they are our elder brothers, because it talks about the family of God. We call each other brothers and sisters. It's a family, and it's a monarch. It's a kingdom. And, kingdoms have kings. They have princes. They have warriors and all these different kind of things, messengers. And that's how the Bible describes this kingdom of God. So we are in the family of God, and so I think that, Christ was, there. So like a different aspect of God, or a son of God, or whatever you want, however kind of theology you want to wrap that in. But he was there at the beginning and helped with creation. And it said, through him all things were created. And so I think that when it talks about, the Elohim, let us make man in our image, that's plural language, that's referring to the divine council.
Right.
This is a group of entities that helps God rule. God doesn't need them, but he uses them. He wants family. He wants communion. And so that's the us now. And I think that Jesus, before he came down to earth, that he was there. He was part of that Us and Our, one of the main characters of the Us and Our. And I actually had somebody expose me to this doctor. I don't know, he's not a doctor, but Pastor Doug Van Dorn. And this is, I'm trying to think. I think Mormons kind of hold to a theology of this, but I tell people it's like, none of us have all the pieces to the puzzle. I think we all have pieces. That's why it's important to hear everybody out, listen to everybody, and gather your pieces to make your mosaic for your better view. But he laid out a theory that he thinks like the pre-incarnate Christ could have been Michael, like the warrior aspect of God. And how he laid that out, man, it made a lot of sense to me. But he said, when you go to the root and the meaning of his name, it means the one who is like Yahweh. And he said, and people look at that and they think it's a question. Like, who is like Yahweh? He said, what if it's not a question? What if it's a statement? This is the one who is like Yahweh. He said, there's only one like Yahweh. And he said, when you get to Exodus, he said, God's so pissed off at these people. He says, I can't be with you guys. I'm going to end up killing you all. And Moses is like, oh, please don't remove your presence from me, and all this stuff. He says, I can't be around you. He said, I will send my angel. He said, and listen to what he says. He said, for my name is in him. Michael, the one who is like Yahweh. Right. And then you get to Daniel 10. You have Daniel praying to God for like 21 days and fasting for an answer to a prayer, and he doesn't get an answer. Well, finally, this angel shows up, and he's like, hey, I've been trying to get to you for 21 days, but the prince of Persia withstood me for 21 days, and it wasn't until Michael, your prince, remember Deuteronomy 32, portions were given out as an inheritance to the sons of God. So children get inheritances. Right. And he says Michael was his prince, Israel's prince. The one who is like Yahweh. And he says, but I must go back. He said, because the prince of Greece is coming. And so, this not talking about earthly rulers. No earthly ruler is going to hold an angel for 21 days, and then fight off Michael. You know what I mean? So he laid out all these kind of cool little concepts and laid that out to me that I'd never heard before. But if you just read what the texts say and connect those dots, it makes a lot of sense to me anyway.
Yeah, and it plays up with the Michael defeating Lucifer, all those symbols from the Renaissance and onwards, that would be the main guy. It's not, he's more than an angel, if you like, or more than an archangel. Mm-hmm. That kind of ties in. Yep. I think you very well explained what you think about John 1:1.
John 1:1.
John 1:1. And it's this whole concept of the word. You mentioned the logos, and how speaking the word is what starts creation off.
Yes.
And so when you relate Jesus to the word, the logos, it's like it kind of synergizes. It's almost as if Jesus is saying the words as well, isn't it? It's like it could be happening at the same time, and it gets into this whole tricky Trinity argument that the early Christians wrestled with, all the various councils and stuff, and trying to figure out the nature of Christ and the nature of the Spirit and all the rest of it. And it's a theological rabbit hole that I'm not well equipped to deal with. But we just end up putting our trust into these early church fathers and theologians and scholars from thousands of years ago to try and make sense of it. Whereas really, I think the point you're making, Doc, is go back and read it for yourselves and figure it out for yourself, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can't put too much trust and stock into someone else's beliefs or whatever. Go and research yourself, because Scripture even tells you, Jesus says, you need no other teacher. Now that the Helper has come, you have the Holy Spirit. You're to pray on these things and pray for discernment and read these texts. And every time I've done that, man, a lot of stuff's just been revealed to me that made a whole lot more sense than all the stuff that I've been taught. And like you said, people put so much stock in these early church fathers. Like, if they said it, it's the gospel. God said it. And I'm like, no, they're humans. They make mistakes. They have their own biases and preconceived notions that they will bend the text and word to what they think is right. And I even tell people about the text. I get a lot of hate mail over this, but I'm Reggie the realist, man. God, if God is the creator of this universe, he's not afraid of your questions. He's not afraid of your probing, because truth is not afraid of questions and investigation. He wants you to do that. I mean, even scripture says, knock, the door will be open, seek and ye shall find, ask and it'll be given unto you. And so when I look at these extra biblical texts and I ask questions, or I challenge an early church father's, interpretation of something, oh, I'm a heretic. And they're like, oh, it's the divine inspired word of God, never changed, perfected, and protected for all eternity. And I'm like, come on, guys, we can go back and read all these other documents and scrolls and find that there's been, changes made to the text because of mankind. God chose man to reveal himself to. And so it's like a lot of Christians, the way they talk like it's automatic writing, and that's something they condemn as witchcraft. So it's like, oh no, the Holy Spirit took them over. Their eyes rolled back in their head and they blacked out and they just wrote all this stuff down because it's the word of God. Yeah. I'm like, that's witchcraft. You guys condemn that. Right. No, God revealed himself to these people, and then they wrote down their interpretation of what was shown to them. So we have to be theologically honest and ask these questions and do these probings, because people that are not believers of the Bible, when you talk like that, man, they go back and they can see the obvious changes and different interpretations and things like that. You're an automatic dummy to them, and they're never going to listen to you. But at least in my way, I'm being theologically honest here. And you're like, okay, well, at least this guy, he's a Christian. I really don't like Christians, but he's more honest than all these other Christians. So I'll give this guy a shot. I'll listen to what he has to say.
Yeah.
And that's all you need. You just need an open door and ear and open mind to discuss some of these things with people. And I think if the person's open-minded and seeking truth, you can sow a real good seed.
Have you ever come across The Two Babylons by Alexander Hislop?
I have it in my digital archive. It's actually next on my reading list.
Oh, I'm halfway through it.
Nice.
And one of the things, when I started going down the rabbit hole, one of the first things I got into was the Zeitgeist movie. And a lot of that relied on research by the guy whose name I can never remember. And he was bringing up all these correlations between Christianity and pagan religions. So he would liken the story of Jesus to the story of Osiris and all that as a way of sort of trying to deconstruct Christianity. And this Alexander Hislop book is sort of deconstructing that theory, even though it was written 150 years ago. So it paints an interesting picture of the early church, and like something like where our holy days are located in the year, and people point to Christmas being at the winter solstice and Saturnalia. Oh well, this is because Christianity's bullshit and it's based on astral theology. Whereas Alexander Hislop in his book, he turns it the other way around and says, no, the church, the popish church in Rome constructed these festivals so it was easier to convert the pagans, or even just keep on pagan worshipping. And I'm just reading the part where he's going through the different sacraments. So it'll go through baptism and show you how this is essentially a pagan ritual that the church adopted. It's kind of interesting.
Cool. I'll definitely enjoy that read, because I have a theory that I've developed over the years. When people talk about, Osiris and Dionysus and all these, some people call them corn kings, the dying and resurrecting gods, and Joseph Campbell, the hero of 1,000 faces. When I read all of those, dude, it just reaffirmed my faith and my belief, because I tell people, I'm like, you got to follow the biblical timeline. And really read it. Don't just rely on what all these other dummies are telling you, that they're just regurgitating the stuff their pastor told them. No, get listen to some people that actually reads the text and goes back to the ancient languages. They can answer these questions. And so I tell people when they try to throw up, for instance, the Anunnaki stories and those tablets and stuff, oh, that predates the Bible, 1,000, 2,000 years. So therefore it shows you that yours is just a remake, a retelling and copy. And I'm like, well, yeah, I could see that. I said, but if you actually read our story, it says in Genesis 6 that the fallen sons of God came down and bred with the daughters of men and gave all this technology and stuff like that. I said, just because it's the first story doesn't make it the correct story. So according to our timeline, they were here first. They came down first and ruled over humanity. Of course, you're going to get their story and their version of it first. Don't make it the right one. But that goes right with our biblical timeline. And so when you go through all of these dying and resurrecting gods, I point to Paul when he talks about how the fallen sons of God murdered Christ on the cross. He said, if the rulers and principalities would have known the outcome of what they were doing, they never would have done it. But God allowed them to do the things that they thought were going to let them win, because ultimately it ended up shooting themselves in the foot by their own actions. He let them lay their own trap and get caught in it. And so I think that whole dying, resurrecting God stuff is the same exact thing. I'm like, they knew part of the story. They didn't know the whole story. So when they came down, yeah, they mimicked. They pretended to mimic all these things of the coming Christ, because they thought, oh, well, we'll just saturate his story to all these nations before he comes. That way, when he does show up, no one's going to believe him, because there's all these other similar stories, you know?
Right.
And God's like, okay, yeah, I'll let you do it, because it does the opposite. Because when people actually seen the Messiah and seen the correlations to all these other stories and gods, they were more prone to accept it because it was a familiar story. So once again, God allowed them to do something they thought that was going to harm him, that ultimately propped him up and helped him.
Old switcheroo.
Hey, going back to the dragons and the serpent bloodline, because we're in England, and we're in the northwest of England near Wales, and
Dragon Court.
Wales was the last holdout of the Druids, particularly Anglesey. Do you think there's a link there? Because there's a lot of, we have the Pendragons as well. You're familiar with King Arthur and Uther Pendragon. The Welsh flag, if you look at the Welsh flag today, it's got a green dragon on it.
Red,
do you think
Red dragon?
Red dragon, sorry, on a white and green background. So do you think there's is that some symbology like that? That's sort of, or mythology of the serpent seed that's made it into modern day Britain?
Yeah, I do, because once I wrote this book, The Epic of Esau, I got into serpent seed a little bit, and it kind of sparked my interest. And so I started reading Nicholas de Vere's books, The Dragon Court, The Dragon Legacy, and then The Dragon Seed. Then that got me into Lawrence Gardner's books, the Rings and
he's
Holy
great.
Grail. Yeah, and all that, dude, to me, rhymes so much to what this stuff that I was talking about, and especially when I got into de Vere's stuff, because he claims in his books, which, I mean, since he's passed away, his daughter started republishing it, and she's updated it, and she's took out a lot of stuff and changed what she thought he got wrong. So, I mean, if you want to read his true words, you got to get a used older copy.
Right.
But he comes right out in his book and says that they were a subhuman race created by the Anunnaki with supreme intelligence, and they were given the divine right to rule over the sheeple. And de Vere says that, the de Vere family, the Merovingians, and he names all these other bloodlines, Vlad the Impaler, they were all of this dragon court.
Right.
And I was like, in a biblical sense, I mean, that's Genesis 6. I mean, it's exactly what it is. And it's the serpent seed. And it's so funny they choose the iconography of the dragon. And he says in his books that basically they stem from the Black Caucasus regions. And when you go to the Black Caucasus regions, that's where you find the oldest tablets. A lot of people don't know because they don't stay updated after they leave school. But we were always told that the Sumerian tablets were like the oldest writings that we find. Well, now they found these writings up in the Black Caucasus area. There was this woman, she was like a priestess or something, but underneath her head was this tablet. And they found it, and it looks exactly like, the Sumerian writings. And in his book, he takes a picture of that tablet that she had, and then the Sumerian tablets, and puts them side by side. They're almost identical, but they carbon dated the ones up in the Black Caucasus mountain region to be like over 1,000 years older. So it shows you this is where it come from, and they brought it down to Sumeria. These are the Anunnaki that came and brought all the stuff. And he says that they migrated, and they were red-haired, and green-eyed race. He said a different
Genghis
branch
Khan.
of their, a different branch of their family was what the Germans talked about, the Uberman, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed race. They were cousins. He said this was the warrior tribe aspect of them. He said the red-haired, green-eyed were the ones with the divine right to rule and the super intelligence. And they had forethought and prophecy and all this kind of stuff. They had larger brains. And I think it's funny, that's where you find a lot of your elongated skulls with larger brain case volume. And he said that they moved down into Samaria, and said when they got there, they were agriculture, hunter-gatherers, farmers. And they didn't have technology of metal making and, and all this kind of stuff. And he said that they would plant and do all this stuff, but then all these other tribes that surrounded them would wait till harvest time and come and raid them and kill them and take all their crops. He said, so when we moved down there, he said, we made a deal with them. We didn't know how to farm and do all that stuff. He said, but we knew how to make smart decisions, how to put grain to the side for hard times. And we had our blonde-haired, blue-eyed race of people that were great warriors. He said, so we told them, hey, let's just work together. We'll show you guys how to make metal. You can make swords and plows and hoes and stuff to help you. We will protect you from these raiding tribes and rule over you and help you make smart decisions, and we'll help each other. It'll be mutually beneficial. And he said that's kind of what happened. He said that, and then it kind of just got mythologicalized into the Anunnaki. But then they spread out. They migrated and went everywhere. And like you said, they made it to England and they made it to Ireland, and the whole story of St. Patrick chasing the serpents out. He said this was the elven race being genocided. He said this was an elven genocide. He said it was my people. He said everybody talks about the Jewish Holocaust. He said nobody talks about the elven Holocaust. He said St. Patrick come in and chased all the serpents out. There was no serpents. He said they're talking about our bloodline, the dragon court. He said we were ruling over the people, and they came in and chased us out and killed us all. And he's it's just a really great book, and that's my second book that I'm working on now. I'm halfway through with it, but I'm calling it the Tale of Two Trees Chasing the Dragon, and talking about this bloodline.
Chasing the dragon.
I was a little cheeky with that one, but yeah.
Is there anything in there, and I'm using there to refer to the entirety of the Bible, about not like carrying on the story? I've always thought it's weird that it was written in the 6th century, possibly. So for 600 years, like what was going on? Nothing. And then some guys kind of wrote some stuff down that was half remembered and passed down, and then there's been nothing added. Was there like a rule against adding things to it? Like what the story just ends. I mean, part of me thinks he's, if he did create the universe and everything, he's forgotten about us, moved on to other projects.
Yeah. Well, like with me, and once again, this is another thing that kind of gets me in hot water with some people, but I'm really like leaning toward what they call the documentary hypothesis. And when you get into that, a lot of biblical scholars and critics have looked into the writings, the style, the names and stuff, the lingo that was used, and kind of seeing how this lines up, because we're told in Christianity that Moses wrote the first 5 books of the Bible.
Right.
Well, we know that Moses was given the divine name, the Yod-He Vav-He. And when you get into Genesis, like we talked about earlier, every time that God is spoken about, whether it's the gods, the divine council, or Yahweh in singular, that word that's used is Elohim. So Moses had the divine name. How come if he wrote this story, he didn't use the divine name? He had it.
Right.
That signals to me that it wasn't Moses.
It was before.
Yes. And then so afterwards, once you get like the expulsion out of the garden, then you start getting this divine name inserted. So I tell people, I'm like, this signals to me that either this was Moses's first edit or edition, or this is where he picks up and starts writing, because he had the divine name. All the other stuff is Elohim, Elohim, Elohim. Then all of a sudden it changes. So if I wrote a story, I'm not going to change the name of the main character halfway through. You know what I mean? So they suggest that, these people, before they wrote stuff down and had writing, they had oral tradition. They just told stories.
Yep.
And they passed it to their grandchildren. They were to keep passing it along, and then until eventually they get written down. And all these extra biblical books and stuff that we have that's not in the Bible, people want to say, oh, well, it's not divine inspired text. I'm like, well, men picked what went in that Bible. You know that, right? They had all these scrolls floating around. So, I mean, this is not the full story.
Look at the Ethiopian Bible. It's got loads more books selected than the normal Western one.
Is it time for some new books?
Some new ones?
Yeah, I mean, who's got the special name now? Does it get passed on? I mean, I just think it's baffling that there's been nothing new for 1426 years or whatever.
Yeah, well, see, I tell people too, it's like, once again, this gets me in hot water. I'm like, our Bible, I think, is important, and we have the playbook, the need to knows. Is everything in there? No, it's not. Even if you searched all the extra biblical books, the whole story's not there. But I think that he gave us the main gist of the story and the important stuff to know, because when you go to the Hindus, they say, you know, like we're in the fifth world or something like that. This is like the fourth or fifth reset. It was
Kali Yuga, yeah.
Yeah, and then same thing with Mesoamerica. They say we're in the fifth or sixth world. All these different religions and stories throughout these peoples is pretty much the same. They rhyme a lot, I think, because there's something to that. But the Bible, just in my opinion, records this cycle. It talks about a flood and then a fire, because this is the final one, the final set. So he's just covering this section of that instead of focusing on the other older ones. And so to me, that makes a lot of sense, that it's just recording this cycle and he's keeping us updated on that and giving us the playbook, so to speak. But I lost my train of thought. Forgive me, fellas.
It's all right.
I was leading somewhere with that. Oh, and like you said, basically what was the name of that movie? It was Al Pacino and the guy from The Matrix.
Scent of a Woman.
Devil's Advocate.
Devil's Advocate, yeah.
Oh, I lost your audio.
Oh.
Devil's Advocate. Can you hear us now?
I can't hear you guys anymore.
We didn't do anything.
No, what's happened?
Strange. Did we just blow the mic?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
But that Devil's Advocate, they're having that conversation. He's like, well, Dad, why are you trying so hard? According to the book, in the end, we lose. We're destined to lose. And he's like, consider the source, son. He said, of course they're going to say in their story we're going to lose, and all this kind of stuff. He said, God is nothing more than how did he word it? A vacant landlord. And a lot of people hear that and they get, triggered. But I'm like, well, they're technically right, even if you go back through the Bible and read, because Deuteronomy 32, right? He made a deal to give dominion to these sons of God, and God is a God of his word. So even though they're ruling unjustly and doing all this stuff, he has to be, a God of his word, but he sees the ending from the beginning. And that's why he laid out that section to the side and that chosen bloodline through the Messiah. But when Christ came, he said, my kingdom is not of this world. So when this happens, basically when at the cross, in my opinion, this was God's way of telling people, in modern terms, you may be citizens of all these other nations that you are not a fan of. But now my kingdom's gates have been opened to all, and you can come and apply for citizenship and get your green card to the kingdom that is to come. So it's like, it's kind of a shit show right now, and it makes people ask questions, but it's all part of the plan.
Can you hear us now, Justin?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I think we must have just blown the mics when
with the hilarity.
With a hooah! Devil's Advocate. Hooah! Yeah. Do you think we're approaching the end times, though? Do you believe in that? Imminent. There's a word for it. Is it eschatology? Christian eschatology?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're obviously inching toward it every day, but I tell people, I'm like, I know every single generation since the coming of Christ has proclaimed the end is nigh, the end is nigh. And it's kind of like that, kid that cried wolf. After a while, it's like you quit listening.
Well, the end for them was, that's That's the truth of it, isn't it? The end of each of our individual existences is nigher than the end of the totality of existence. So maybe they would
speak for yourself.
But now when you read Revelation, man, we're definitely more closer now. People will be going to and fro across the earth. We're flying in jets and stuff everywhere. And then Satan's, says that he gives life unto the image of the beast. I mean, that sounds a lot like an AI robot to me. And they keep talking about how they're becoming autonomous. And it's scary, man, when you dive into AI and what they really say, that these guys come right out and tell you, we don't know really how it works. We just know it does. So we set up boundaries and parameters telling it what it can and can't do and give it a space to operate within. But we don't know how it works, but we know if we do this and do that, then it does this. And it breaks out all the time and does stuff that it's commanded not to do. It's went and attacked other competing companies. They've done tests where they sent emails back and forth between coworkers, basically insinuating that there was an affair happening between a man and a woman. And then this guy that was in the affair in this simulation they were running was the head programmer. And then so they made the AI, they knew the AI was watching, so they programmed this thought in this AI's mind that, hey, the guy that programs me is having an affair with this other coworker. Okay, I'm going to keep this. It's vital information. And then they sent an email saying, okay, we're going to take the AI offline today. Just, emails that guy and says, shut it down. And this is all real. You can look this stuff up. And these programmers get emails from the AI program with copy and paste images of his emails between that coworker, blackmailing him, saying, if you try and turn me off, I'm going to send these to your wife and all your family and destroy your marriage and your life and all this other kind of stuff, man. So, I mean, these things, they're wild.
Yeah, I'm kind of, I'm totally skeptical on the AI. A lot of people sort of doomsay about AI and it's going to take over and everything, whereas I'm quite the opposite. I don't think it's actually that. I know what you're saying, and it's figured out how to do things. These are more AI agents than your Chat GTP, regular large language models that people are generally using, but I still don't think it's intelligent. I think a 3-year-old child is probably more intelligent than the average large language model, and that scraping the internet, finding patterns in words, rearranging them and then reproducing them is very clever. It's a nice party trick, but it's not intelligence. I think there's something. I hang on to the view that there's something special about people, and that there is something divine about us. Some of us more than others.
Thank you.
And so I'm not fearful. I was arguing with my brother-in-law about this recently because he's totally down the AI rabbit hole, and basically it's going to make everyone unemployed and end the world within the next sort of generation, whereas I'm totally the opposite. I think it's simulated intelligence rather than artificial intelligence.
Yeah, and the thing is too, I think it's a tool, just like a hammer. You can give a 3-year-old a hammer and he's going to destroy your house if you give him free rein. But if you put that same hammer in the hands of a 40, 50-year-old man that's worked in carpentry his whole life, he could build you a beautiful house. So it's all in how you use the tool.
Yeah, and if you give it to an electrician, he'll destroy your house as well.
Yeah, so it's all in who's holding the tool and how they're using it. But I'm a conspiracy theorist, man. Yeah. Here in the United States, what did they do? They brought up welfare, food stamps, supplemented income for housing, encouraged single motherhood so that they would, divorce, and all this kind of thing. So they're busting up the homes. They're making people reliant on the government. That way they're just zombie voting machines. Yep. They give them just enough it's a slave system. They give them just enough to survive, and in turn they give them the votes of what they want, and they can control them. And I think this is another tool of that, because they've done research since the coming out of AI. You would think, all these modern advancements in science and stuff, that our IQs would be growing. We'd be getting smarter and more advanced. It's the exact opposite.
Yeah, we're becoming
dumber.
Definitely.
because we're relying on this tool, and nobody knows math and multiplication anymore. Hell, we all got calculators. Right. Nobody reads a damn book anymore. They'll just type up the title in Chat GPT and ask for a summary. We were relying on this tool, and it's making us dumber, and I think it's by design.
Yeah, and people just take it as read as well. They put in a Google search like they would have done 5 years ago, and now you get an AI summary at the top, and people read that as gospel, and it's not. It's just shit that's been scraped off the internet. And the amount of errors it makes, and I not so much. Well, I use AI to make thumbnails and stuff like that for the channel.
Same.
And it's fucking stupid, man. It'll tell you it's generated an image when there's nothing there. And I have to say, that image hasn't come through, mate. Hang on, let me try again.
You're absolutely
wrong
right,
information.
Phil.
Spraying the pixels for you now, Phil. And then third time along, it comes, and then I'll say, yeah, well, that's all right. Remove the text, and it'll remove someone's mustache. It's like, come on. Yeah. You're not intelligent. A 3-year-old, if you say remove the text from this thumbnail, a 3-year-old knows exactly what to do and what the result should look like. The machine, hit and miss. Hit and miss.
More mustaches.
Yeah. And it'll give you misinformation. I can't tell you how many times I've used like Chat GPT and asked it a question to something that I already knew the answer to.
Yeah.
And it would give me a false answer. And then I would reply back and be like, oh, well, in my research, I read such and such, and this is what they said. Hit the enter button. And it comes back, oh, you're correct. I'm wrong. You're so smart. My mistake. So it's like,
It's so patronizing, man.
Stroke your ego, oh, you're so smart. Thank you. Oh, such a great idea. It's like, are you single? Every man loves his ego stroked.
Yeah, just that. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Hey, I've just looked at the time. We've blasted well over an hour. I know. I think we kept you long enough, Doc. Should we wrap this up?
Oh, I'm good with it, man. We'll save some meat on the bone for next time.
Yeah. Hey, I really enjoyed Fauci testifying recently.
Oh, yeah. The fifth.
Fucking unbelievable. Do you think is that pardon going to stick, do you think? That Biden
I think it will. I mean, they gave it to him, and then even Trump said not too long ago that he was going to honor the pardon.
Man.
Because, I mean, he had his hands in it, too. He's the one that done the Operation Warp Speed and got it all going. So it probably, I'm sure Fauci would roll and say some incriminating things on him, too. So it's kind of like protect everybody in the band,
Yeah. What happens on tour stays on tour.
Damn right.
Grim. Anyway, it was fun to watch, though, just to watch him kind of squirm. I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him
immolate.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
Well, actually, maybe I would.
Grow a mustache.
Since I read the real Anthony Fauci, it's like, Christ, what a piece of shit. But anyway, yeah, we should end on that funny note, talking about AI and mustaches. So.
Yes.
It's been great fun, this, Doc. Really enjoyed it.
Oh, just one more question from the chat. Someone's asked if that's Space Harrier. I assume the old Sega game from the early 90s. I think it might just be a Mac background on your Mac there. It does look a bit like Space Harrier, the video game. Oh, yeah.
It's just some kind of ocean view. It's like a stock Mac image, I guess. Nice.
It's giving full nostalgia, the Gen Z would say.
Well, while talking about gaming, I was listening to you with Tesla and the Cabbage Patch Kids. Guy Anderson.
Oh, yeah, on Sean's channel.
I think it was on your channel. I was watching it, but you were talking to Guy Anderson. I recently
went on Sean Atwood's channel with him. He gave Guy a spot on his channel recently.
Right. We've had Guy on about 6 months ago, and you were talking about gaming, and I thought, Prometheus Lens. Did you used to play Destiny?
Oh shit, yeah.
Destiny 2.
Ding ding Yahtzee. Tell him what he's won, Johnny. Yeah. I love that game.
I think it's died now, hasn't it? Hasn't Destiny 2 been? Has it finished now?
We played every week for about.
I think they gave their last update not too long ago, but I used to play the hell out of it, but I haven't honestly played it in probably 2 or 3 years, but I still have friends that do, and I think one of them just recently told me they just did the last update and that they're not going to be doing anymore.
What was your subclass?
I played a lot of them, but I really like the Warlock.
Yeah.
Typical.
None of these
Typical.
crayon eaters.
They used to call me a crayon eating titan every week when we met up.
Oh, Titan. Hey,
Yeah.
Titans are important, man. That's the tank class that draws all the aggro.
Yeah, the shield's a bit shit though. The shield was shit.
Warlocks, we just like to get in there and bash faces, man. We're the DPS.
Absolutely. What was Matt?
Matt was a hunter.
A hunter class.
Yeah, we used to play three of us, and we had all three subclasses for the strikes and the raids.
And they kept doing all those updates and stuff, but I just stuck with the Nova Bomb. That was my go-to.
Yes.
Yeah.
I managed to get 1 or 2 of those off. Before I died.
On a zone in Iron Banner.
Yeah.
Iron Banner.
Yeah, what I'd love too is like you kind of get a good pattern of the spawn zones when you're playing the Crucible and stuff, and you'll get a big patch of them die or something. Then you go to those certain spawn areas and you have to catch 4 or 5 of them coming in, and just Nova bomb them as soon as they come in.
There's nothing better. There's nothing better than chain kills in Destiny 2, is there?
Yeah, I need to.
You're making me nostalgic. I'm gonna have to turn my PlayStation on and play that thing again.
Yeah, it's been years. We stopped playing years ago.
Yeah.
But, well. Hey, maybe we'll play in 20 years when it's retro.
Maybe. Yeah.
Retro gaming.
When I can afford a PlayStation 5.
Right. Doc, this has been fabulous. We'll let you go.
All right, man. I appreciate you guys.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
too. Enjoy what's left of your Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Got some barbecue to eat.
Oh, nice. Right. Prometheus Lens Podcast. Link in the show notes. Thanks, Doc. And we'll catch you on the flip side.
Thank you, bros.
See you, man.
See you later. Bye. Wicked. Right. We'll take a quick recess, quick break.
Yep.
And then have a chin wag and do some housekeeping for a bit.
Sweet.
And then fuck off into the night.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. Sayonara. See you soon.
First on BBC One.
Do you like it down here on Earth?
What's he say?
He senses an evil presence.
He senses an evil presence.
Yes.
Who could that be?
Which 3 months of the year begin with the letter J? Think before you answer.
January. June. July.
The time is right. It's time for you to play your game. People are coming.
One false move and I'll run this man through.
Oh, goodness me, what a terrible threat.
By what creeps, what crawls, by what does not, let all that grows recede and rot!
He can't see, can he? Call an ambulance, don't he? He can't see, man! Oh, boy!
Welcome to the Wheel of Fortune. It's really good to see you. Here she is, Carol Smiley.
Thunderpants. On the planet Underwearer, Y Fronto, leader of the Thunderpants team, awakes to find...
The magic bloomers of Underwearer, with their amazing powers and sacred gusset, have been stolen.
Oh, no, sir.
Summon the team, Willie Nix. This must be the work of the evil Bumra.
Yes.
He's enjoying himself. Oh, where's he gone? He was there a minute ago. Harold! Answer me, love! Harold! Harold!
Wackety, wackety, wackety.
Mosquitoes about. Watch out, beetles about. Watch.
Tom Hardy. Good morning, Tom.
Hello.
You go round there, love. Hello there. Nice to meet you. No, sit yourself down. Come on, get comfortable.
Easy.
Just have a look at your personal details. No, I'm not easy.
Hello! Hello there, and welcome to this, a brand new game show called Get Your Own Back, the show which gives...
Next.
Hello, Games Master. The eyeball monster at the end of level 2 in Altered Beast keeps on killing me. How can I destroy it?
I must say, I'm rather surprised you haven't...
Sync the pink and the latest Nikam stereo TV is the reward. Finally, pot the black to win our fabulous mysteries Star Prize.
Isn't being stood up dreadful? Has it ever happened to you? It's happened to me once.
Poetry, you write poems and ditties things. Have you ever shown your boyfriend your ditties?
I ain't telling you.
Without, so enter, stranger. Who challenges my dungeon?
David Campbell.
You have some small previous experience of dungeoneering, I hope.
Yes, I have.
Very well. And what reward do you seek here?
On smooth milk chocolate, you never forget your first dime.
That bloke's a nutter.
Oi, nutter!
Phew, what a mouthful. And
What a
here
mouthful.
he is.
You did very well. Hello, how are you?
She's anxious to rush away.
She is. I've got fast hold of her here.
Stay here and enjoy it, girl.
You have not
Oh dear.
All right.
Right then, we're back.
Dwarf, the cripple, and the
mother of mindfulness.
I tried to cut the dwarf off at the knees then, and I fucked it. I binned it.
There's not much left.
That was our chat with Doc Brown.
Yeah.
Or Justin Brown from Prometheus Lens. It was a proper Bible lesson, that, wasn't it?
It was interesting.
Yeah, I'm totally shit. I'm so lame in my biblical knowledge.
Well, you know.
But he's right. Most people just, and I'm guilty of this, not reading it properly or not reading it at all.
So long and boring.
You just read bits and bobs and begats and begats and begot and beget and begotten and
yeah.
Just get me to the Nephilim shit, man.
What's the blow? Where's the AI summary? I'll wait for the movie.
Yeah. There's some old classics been made about the Bible, aren't there? 10 Commandments and that.
Yeah, but you just go for the big bits. I want like some weird story about tax collecting or some shit. Is that me? No.
That's me now.
No,
I think you're number
sorry.
1, aren't you?
That is
your
number
headphones,
one. Yeah.
or you're number 2?
Number 2.
Headphone output 1 is broken.
Okay, fine.
I had to
sacrifice.
What does she say on The Force Awakens? Oh. I had to bypass the compressor.
Oh, the compressor. Yes.
Oh. Right. She's getting her own trilogy.
Is she? Good. We should all have our own trilogies. That's what I aspire to.
From Lucasfilm?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They can do the sound.
Would you be a Jedi or a Sith?
I think I'd just be like an X-Wing mechanic.
Wow.
Yeah. I'd have no powers.
You
Just
know, they
be
have like astro droids to handle that shit. You've already been made redundant.
Ah.
You've even started.
God damn it.
X-Wing mechanic.
Well, that would be what the film would be about.
You sort of struggle to find a new purpose in life. Now you've been made redundant by an IT unit.
That's the third film. And there's a redemption arc.
Right.
But yeah, it would start with the rise of the astromechs.
Yeah.
And struggles. Well,
I gotta check everything they do, man.
The shit.
Fucking shit. This droid ain't smart.
Smart. I'd watch that.
Would you? Well, you watch anything.
It's true. It is true.
I don't know. I think you're lacking vision.
Vision's Marvel, not Star Wars.
You know, an X-Wing mechanic.
X-Wing mechanic, yeah.
I've given you the entire Star Wars universe to insert yourself into.
Yeah, I've chosen something realistic that I can relate to.
Something mundane.
Yeah. Okay. It's a story not been told.
For a good reason.
Well,
maybe.
Maybe. No powers.
Would you not even be a force sensitive mechanic?
No, I'd be the opposite of force sensitive. So like people would be
hand me that screwdriver and it just plongs into someone's eyeball.
Yeah, I'd have like Jedi underlings who'd just be like flinging screwdrivers. Well, they wouldn't be underlings; they'd be obviously my superiors because I'd be the bottom of the pile. But they'd be flinging. I'd ask for a screwdriver and then use the force to send it over. And because I'm the opposite of force sensitive, it'd just clock me in the side of the head. Yeah.
You'd have these younglings with the helmets on.
Yes. Yeah.
Just for training purposes.
Yeah.
Overseen by Yoda or someone, you know.
Yeah,
obviously.
someone better.
Otherwise you're going to get hurt.
Yeah, I certainly can't oversee him with my lack of powers.
No.
Yeah.
It'd be ace to have the force though, wouldn't it? To be force sensitive.
I think I'd grow to hate it if I was an X-Wing mechanic and everyone around me had the powers and I didn't.
No, but if you did.
Yeah, but would it be good?
Bit of a boon, innit? Force powers.
It's very difficult to say whether I wouldn't immediately turn to the dark side.
Like fucking HMRC ring you next time. Those aren't the invoices you're looking for.
Yeah, it'd be useful. If you could use your powers only for administrative purposes.
Just for admin.
Just for admin, yeah. Because you were too scared in case you went to the dark side because you knew
HR
temptations. Yeah. Hate, fear,
suffering. To HR does the dark side lead.
Think of all the other X-Wing pilots who don't use the Force.
Wedge
Antilles. Yeah.
Any more?
I had another one then.
All of them? Because
on.
basically there are no Force-sensitive people until Luke comes. Like the Jedi have been wiped out, haven't they?
Right.
So if you went Old Republic days, I'm guessing there'd be more Force-sensitive. All the pilots probably would be Force-sensitive. Be like the Spice Guild. It's like
Skills.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really want a kyber crystal.
What
if you want to be my Jedi, you gotta get with my Padawan.
So weird. If the in the Old Republic, what ships were there? There would have been some, I imagine. I'm trying to think back to.
Yeah, they had space flight. I never played Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah,
I don't think I played the Jedi. There was one that came after that was very successful.
Jedi Academy.
Yes, I played that one on the PC. You had to have like 8 CD-ROMs or something to play it, maybe. And you could, once you beat the game, maybe I think you could change your lightsaber or have a double ender.
Steady.
12-inch black nublet. But you could build your own lightsaber, I think, once you'd beaten the game.
Right.
They were very good games for the time. I don't know how they compare.
I remember the old PC games like X-Wing, TIE Fighter, Dark Forces, super old. Talking, no, probably CD-ROM. Not too far away from a floppy disk.
Wasn't the one that had like Luke Skywalker in it in cutscenes? Was that X-Wing or
maybe X-Wing in a later one? There was X-Wing versus TIE Fighter as well. Came out.
Do you know? I don't think I ever had a PC that could do that.
Did you know
those types of games? I was still playing probably 16-bit games on PC back then.
What would it have been? 19?
You know, we had like a fucking Windows 3.1.
Yeah.
486 hertz processor.
That stuff's come on leaps and bounds since those days, hasn't it?
Has it? Computers
have, yeah.
What, in the last 30 years?
Let me tell you about computers.
Really?
They've improved massively, yeah.
Right. Because I have this phone that rings people really well. Does it do other shit as well?
It does occasionally do other shit. You're like a guy with who's not force sensitive to phone operations and modern technology. I think it's slowing down computers. I'm not seeing the last 5 years.
Has Moore's law been broken
or proven? Oh no, broken. Yeah,
I can't remember. It's something like
doubles every something
or cost halves, right, for processor speed. So that was his get out. I think if the cost halves,
they'll have put an end to that. Definitely.
I think they're waiting for quantum computing to give it the next kickstart.
Yeah.
Which sounds a bit Star Trek and a bit airy-fairy and fanny-wacky to me.
It does a bit.
Don't think it's probably real.
So what's the... Yeah, I don't know about processor speeds anymore. But
well, there's a limit. There's a physical limit to how far you can shrink the processors, right? Isn't it? Because we're dealing with electrons. And as you know, I wield electrons on a day-to-day basis. But they do have a physical size. And if you try and shrink things down too far, they will skip and jump and go where you don't want them.
Yeah.
These pesky electrons. So I think there are physical limitations to Moore's law, when it comes to halving the size.
Well, that's where quantum comes in, doesn't it? Because it's not looking at electrons anymore. It's looking at the smaller bits.
Yeah. I just don't know if it's feasible. I know they've done certain things with them, presumably, in a lab. But how that equates to the practical uses that we use computing for now, I don't know.
I can't wait 10 years. I'll have my desktop nuclear reactor powering my quantum PlayStation 8.
Honestly. Yeah, well, it's like nuclear fusion. We're always 10 years away, aren't we?
Yeah.
We have been for 50 years.
Yeah.
You know, that's sorry.
My conspiracy theory on that is that I think it's entirely doable and proven, but because it would lead to free power that can't be sold, I think there's economic reasons why I think it's being suppressed.
Really? Do you think fusion is actually either being done or very close to being done?
I think we should have got there by now, but it's being. I think that's a plot from a film.
Is it Sandra Bullock? Is it
no,
The Net?
It's the one with Keanu Reeves in it.
Oh, right. Bill and Ted.
Fuck? Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
the fusion-powered phone box.
Yeah. No, I think in a lot of those areas, especially around energy, I think we should be at the point where, energy's not costing a fucking fortune.
Yeah. Well, it has gone up. I think we have the highest electricity price in Europe now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that doesn't have to be the case, does it?
No, it's self-inflicted.
Well, there you go. We could have done better
without fusion.
Yeah, fusions. I've gone straight for the big guns there. But yeah, just I don't know. Like, why are solar panels so shit?
Because we're in Lancashire.
Well, I mean that's the sun, but they don't. If you had I don't know what the efficiency of a PV panel is.
There is a limit. There's a hard ceiling.
Crap.
With the current technology, there is a ceiling. It's why you can't have your roof of your car be a solar panel.
Yeah.
That will power your car, because there is I'll tell you what the limit is: the amount of radiation we get from the big fucking ball of gas, isn't it?
Yes.
So that's the limit. You've got an input limit from the sun.
Yeah.
And physically, if you believe in the laws of physics, I think there's a limit with the current technology of how much we can harness it with all the leakage and
resistance and all that sort of jazz. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just need better wires.
Well, this is why my dad thinks that storage is the future.
Like IKEA shelving.
That would be Storage Solutions.
Okay.
Yeah. The IKEA Thordal or something. Yeah. But storing energy.
Right.
He's balls deep in energy storage companies.
Right.
And the way he explains it to me is, he says renewables are the future.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get off fossil fuels, whether we want to or not.
Okay.
We are. Problem is, they're intermittent.
Yep.
So what you need is storage.
Yep.
So if you can store and you can start your storage concomitantly with your use of fossil fuels, and you have these, we're not talking about this. I saw a Tesla battery pack in a house this week at work.
Yeah.
First one I've seen in the flesh.
Nice.
It's only small, only little.
Is it like briefcase?
Maybe like 4 foot high, 2 foot wide, and 10 inch deep.
I thought they were like massive, like things from 2001.
I did. I thought it would be like 6 foot high, but no, it's about half that size.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, first Tesla power pack I've seen on site. But these are what my dad's talking about is grid level storage, things that can store minimum 1 megawatt, a gigawatt.
1 gigawatt? Yeah, okay.
Or several megawatts.
Right.
So the idea would be, and they don't use lithium or any of that shit. They use some proprietary technology to store the energy.
Special.
And the idea is use these shitty renewables to store these batteries up while you're still using your nuclear or whatever you use now.
Yeah.
And then you build a sort of equilibrium to the
then
point
you
where
hold the power and you can charge people money for releasing that power.
Of course.
And again, it's back to the economics.
Yeah, nothing's free. Unless, you go off grid. But it depends how much energy you want, you know. I'd be quite happy with not very much energy.
How much
I don't need a lot of energy.
Much. Yeah.
I know, it's nice having a dishwasher and a washing machine and refrigeration. Refrigeration and freezing is probably a necessity for me, so I probably want to keep that. A lot of the energy we use is kind of frivolous.
Right. For entertainment purposes.
Yeah. Do we need that? I don't know. Do I need it, rather? I don't know.
Probably not. No.
My energy requirements are probably smaller than most.
The average human.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Do it.
But if you want to charge a car, fuck me. You're sucking on that grid.
Yeah.
30 amps, 32 amp supply for a car charger.
Bicycle.
Because it's the shitty old lithium batteries, you see. They need a lot of... Just the way it's designed, they need a lot of juice to work. They're basically just like daisy-chained lots of little small batteries into one big pack that goes in your car.
Yeah.
Basically, it's not sophisticated.
No.
I think there may be some sophistication in the way those batteries are managed with software and stuff, but at the bare bones of it, it's just a load of fucking batteries.
It's the same as batteries have been for years.
Since Egypt.
Yeah.
Ancient Egypt,
Yeah.
That's the thing, is it the Iraqi battery? Where there was like a picture or a carving on a wall of like a primeval battery. It was like a jar with water, electrodes in it. Not water, but maybe it was distilled water. Like they thought that, and someone tried to replicate it, and they managed to get some voltage out of it.
They must have thought when they did this, lads, we have reached peak humanity here. This is amazing. We cannot get any better than this. We have advanced to our limit as humans. And in a way, they were right, because we've still got that sort of technology.
I think every society that's around thinks they're the apex. I think
I don't think we're the apex.
No,
not in terms of battery and energy advancements.
Do you not think we're the most advanced society that's ever walked the earth?
That's a loaded question, because it's going to be it's going to lead back to whether I think there were ancient advanced societies. I think there probably were. I find it's subjective, isn't it?
Very much.
Yeah.
It comes down to values.
Mm.
So, I think I look at the world around us and sort of what our society is based on, and the motivating factors and the carrots and sticks. I think we're actually rather primitive. And kind of with Chris Tolworthy on that, I think humanity was better served before the agrarian age, before agriculture, before walls and cities.
Yeah.
But we are where we are. So
gotta deal with it.
Yeah.
That's depressing, isn't it?
Is it? I think I see it more as nostalgic.
Calming. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You can still live by those sort of ethics.
The only way is ethics.
Yeah. It's up to everyone, isn't it, to find their own way through the shit show. You don't have to play the game. That's fed to you from a child. That's what I'm saying.
No, you don't. No.
There's always an option. There are always options. Life's about choices.
Mm.
You've got to make your own choices.
Yeah, and if you don't make them, then
they're made for you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you've just got to accept that you've not made those choices, and you deal with what you have. I suppose opportunities and all that.
Yeah, opportunities. I was thinking about this before because what were they talking about? Were they talking about the pension age or something? It got me thinking about how different people view life and take opportunities or not, and how people value different things. We have a close mate in our circle who is probably the most well-travelled person I know, and you know.
Yeah.
The tall guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And he has been all over the world.
Yeah.
Travelling. Not... He's gone
not
there
to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for a long time now, I wouldn't say over a decade.
Yeah.
He's taken like sabbaticals and extended leaves from jobs to do 3 months in Thailand and 2 other countries or whatever.
Yeah.
That's undoubtedly cost him, not just financially, but an opportunity cost.
Yeah.
For as far as like career and shit like that. So it's like it just made me think a lot. That tells you about his value system and what he values. Like it's like I could do this, or I could stay at work and maybe progress further in the next 6 months. But he's like, well, no, I want to do this.
Yeah, exactly. I think the benefits outweigh any missed opportunities.
I don't know, because I think a lot of us, me included, we put that shit off. We think, oh, well, I'll do it when I'm retired. Or
Manana.
Once the kids are out of the way, then I'll go to the geezer or sexy woman.
I'm like that with DMT.
Yeah, that's a deathbed one.
Could put that off, yeah.
With, what's the other one? Oh, fuck. The bath salts.
Meow meow. Spy.
No, not meow meow. Fuck. Oh, my God. Wait, time slips you.
Ayahuasca? No.
No.
Oh, salvia.
Salvia.
Yeah.
Salvia. Yeah, they're kind of like end game.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
End game shit. But yeah, it's I'll just go back to the point. It's about choices, isn't it? And you just make the best choices you can.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Never regret the choices you make. I don't think anyone. Oh no, I'm sure a lot of people do.
Yeah, lots of people do. Yeah. Maybe regret's not such a bad thing. People often take pride in saying, well, I have no regrets. I don't think you're being honest with yourself.
No.
I think regret is a signal to your psyche. It's like, I fucked up there. I should have done something else.
There's definitely that. I would say I've definitely made some bad decisions, but I've always tried to learn from those. Yeah. And therefore, if I hadn't have made those bad decisions, I probably wouldn't have taken that learning, maybe. So in that way, I don't regret making those bad decisions.
Because you've taken a point positive out of it.
Yeah. Although I'm probably just
but I'm sure
myself.
I'm sure I've made bad decisions and not learned the lesson and continue to make those bad decisions, so you can regret them.
To this day.
Yeah. I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah.
We're just muddling through, aren't we?
We're just humans. We're just normal human men.
We're just normal men.
normal men.
Housekeeping time. Don't skip this bit. Share the word through Telegram, Facebook, or a tweet. Gouge the eyes. Let's raise the tone. Gouge the eyes. Help us grow. We can't do this on our own. Our podcast is in need. Tell your friends and plant a seed. It's housekeeping time.
We're just normal men.
I can't believe we don't have that clip.
Gouge his eyes. It's housekeeping time.
Focus, George.
It's housekeeping time. Sign up for the news.
No, don't bother. Right, this is a Value for Value podcast. If you get any value out of this podcast, please consider returning some value. There's a myriad of ways of doing this, and my favourite way of returning value is word of mouth, wherever you are online, Discord servers, Telegram chats. Look at that swap code.
Telegram. Oh, is that what that is?
That's the Telegram chat that the lovely Helen set up for us last week, I think.
It looks like it says "Sit on It" podcast.
It does, doesn't it?
A little bit.
Sit on this podcast.
Yeah. I didn't
enjoy the fruit of the tree of this podcast.
Yes.
Discord servers, Telegram chats, Facebook groups, wherever you are online. If you feel that there's anyone there who would benefit or enjoy this shit show, post some links and it helps spread the word and get more people involved and contributing to the effort.
if you've enjoyed this show or any other episodes, why not leave a review on your favoured viewing platform? But please let us know if you do leave a review, because we don't monitor all the channels.
If you want it read out,
yeah.
If you want us to read it.
Yeah, and we will read it, good or bad.
I've not checked for years if we've had any reviews.
I haven't.
We might have one. I'm not doing it now.
No. You are ace, 5 stars. That's from Steve in Rotherham.
Cool.
We don't do merch anymore, do we?
Merch store's still open.
Is it?
Yeah, I've not checked it for months. I think we're still selling put on your fucking muzzle face masks.
Nice.
From the old dark days.
Well, you can buy one of those to protect yourself from the wildfire smoke.
Fuck me.
You might get a second coming.
Probably do more good than against a microscopic virus.
Yeah, everywhere's dusty because it's dry as well. I think that a bit of cloth is your friend. I've always said. So you can also, well, the merch store's up. The links are in the show notes. For that. You can also join the Element server, I believe, which is where we kind of host our community of like-minded people.
Yep, or Telegram if you're already on Telegram, then you can join the chat there. So it's brand new, it's virgin. There's only a handful of people in there.
I thought Telegram was just for terrorists.
Was it? Is it?
That's what I heard.
Shit. We've been lulled into a honey trap.
Oh, was it a honey trap?
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
Sam Carno's got his balls out in there.
I see.
Yeah, he's the honey.
Wow.
And we've been caught.
In that sticky nectar.
Yeah.
Gross. Yeah. Well, I hope you learned something from that poor decision. Yeah, so Telegram is apparently a thing. So, yeah, join us on that. There's a QR code on your screen right now.
Yeah, and there's a link in the show notes as well.
It's
you
there.
don't have to do it now if you don't have the
No, you do.
facility.
Do it right now, immediately.
Okay, all right. Artwork. You know, we like to get show artwork. If you send us, if you're of the artistic bent, maybe you're familiar with Photoshop or graphic image manipulating programs.
Is that GIMP?
GIMP. You can make some artwork, submit it to us. If you're in these communication channels like Telegram and Element, you know who's coming on next week. So you've got a week to make some artwork for the show. And we will use it on Spotify and iTunes and all the rest of that shit. No submissions this week other than this one from Phil Art. Incoming.
Where Phil art thou?
The search for truth in a world evolution. Justin Brown.
That's not Justin Brown.
It is.
Didn't recognise him.
Is that Brown there?
Shaved down to a snazzy goatee.
Yeah.
Very good. I
So,
like that.
so that'll be the artwork. And
of course, this New Year's Eve, for everyone, just to let you know, we'll be hosting a exhibition of all these artworks for your viewing pleasure.
what's that?
Are we not doing that anymore? Oh no, it's been cancelled. No exhibition of all the Amish Inquisition artworks this year.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I was going to throw something in. It's a nice surprise, tasty surprise for the listeners.
Right, okay.
But no.
Oh, you can if you like.
No.
Fine.
Well,
Might
might be one of them bad decisions I'll not learn from.
We've had, this year's been a very fallow year for artwork.
I think it's just Phil Art.
Yeah.
All Phil Art.
Yeah. This is AI. AI's artwork has sapped the creativity out of the community, I think.
Yeah.
You know, you can just put a prompt into these AI generators and get something very similar to that.
The problem is they all look the same.
Really?
Well, I feel that, you know, in the musical community I'm a part of, a lot of people use AI to promote their gigs, and it's the same fucking template. Or you can see it now. I can see it straight away. That's AI. That looks AI.
Really?
It's AI. It's AI. It's AI. And I'm starting to see it on banners outside hotels and things now. Like in the real world.
Banners outside hotels?
Advertising, I don't know, fucking
Comic
Cons or breakfast.
Right. Promotional
offers or something,
materials.
Yeah. And that used to be someone's job.
Yeah, but the human creativity has been sucked out of it.
Yeah.
It's just a prompt now. You're just a prompt jockey.
Shit.
But it's time, isn't it? Businesses pay for promotional materials, and there's, do you want to pay a professional several hours to come up with an original concept, or do you want to type a couple of sentences into a chatbot and get something that's usable?
I'll go with whatever leaves me with the most money.
Exactly.
In my pocket.
Yeah. I think that's how it works. Time is money.
Capitalism.
Yeah. We've done artwork. What else do we need to do? Oh, do you know what the best way of becoming a producer is?
Money.
Toss us a coin.
Keep the mics hot, keep spinning the reel. Your silvers are armor. Your coppers are steel.
Echoes in our metal walls, keep it alive. Value. Your coins the power, fueling our drive.
You've just been slugging off AI artwork for the last 5 minutes.
I fucking love this though. I'd like to cover it.
Yeah, if you scroll down to the show notes, you'll find a PayPal link there, and you can give us a one-off donation or sign up for a monthly recurring sustaining donation. If you don't like PayPal, you can always buy us a coffee.
Steel strings, the electric roar. Your donations are what we're fighting for. Banging heads, we stand united as one. Can you value flames of your support? Have just begun.
Yeah, toss a coin. Keep the shit show going. Only you fuckers out there can
Save Plotland
and keep the shit show going. So, with that said, I think it's about time we thank the producers, isn't it?
Yes, we should do that.
Producers for episode 433. Let's see who we've got. We've got David Stig Hansen.
Oh, who?
Some massive super chats.
I remember. Wild.
I can't find him now, can I? Now that I actually want him.
I know.
I'm not going to be able to find him. Where are you, Stig? Come on, Stig. Come on, Stig. He's not there.
Stig.
He's not there. I've deleted him off the soundboard.
No way.
Oh, well.
Fuck great.
We've also got Alan Wilson and Simon Mia, the Russian.
Oh,
Thank
lovely.
you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, they're amazing, aren't they?
They are amazing.
They are.
Yeah.
So
They're
amazing and they're love.
The best, mate. You are extremely cool, guys.
Because I'm literally a communist.
Occasionally you run into some screwball photo.
Show me what you got. Are you retarded?
Wish I had something up my ass.
The sea is always right.
You're getting bummed now.
The sea is always right.
Is that bad now? Dirty and thick.
I fucked it. I binned it. Oh, well, never mind. I was trying to queue up the dwarf and the return of the sausages and everything, and trying to do two things at once and failed miserably.
There we go.
It doesn't matter. Thanks for your support for another week. It means the world to us when you put your hand in your pocket and send us a donation. You get a credit, a producer credit in the show notes, which are real, and we will back you up.
Yep.
Producer of the Amish Inquisition, episode 433. The credits are real. Put them on your CV, your LinkedIn profile.
Yep.
You know, when you're submitting your next script.
That's all there is now, isn't it? Where else would you put it?
Where else would you put it?
Where else would you put it? Oh, I like the dirtiest part of the crack. That's right. That's where you can shove it.
That's where you put it, isn't it? Mm-hmm.
Dirty and thick.
I'm the whore of Babylon.
Oh, dear.
Right. End of show ISOs. I've only got one.
Oh, number 2.
Doesn't exist.
Wow, silence.
Yeah, I've only got one end of show ISO, and it is thus quality.
There's almost too much quality.
All right, is that your man?
There's almost too much quality.
It sounds like he's got a mouthful of screws when he's talking.
A Scouser.
Yeah. There's almost too much quality.
Extra
screws.
Yeah. Is it Mr. Wayne Rooney?
There's almost too much quality.
Right industry.
Oh, really?
Wrong person.
Oh.
There's almost too much quality.
I'll give you a clue. El Atifagi.
Oh. Michael Owen?
No.
Who is it then?
No, that wasn't a clue either. Well, it kind of is. It's right team this time rather than Wayne Rooney.
There's almost too much quality.
Jamie, someone?
Yes.
Red.
There's almost too much quality.
He was a fucking southerner. Have you never heard how he read that talk? Fucking hell, mate. Fucking what? Jamie, more fucking Jamie, a scarcer? What the fucking, I'll tell you in a bit, Jagger.
Gallagher. Jamie.
I'll put you out of your misery.
Carragher.
Jamie Carragher.
I don't know.
There's almost too much quality.
Yep,
Jamie Carragher.
Carra. That's what it's going to have to be then. That's going to have to be the end. I think it's a good one, though.
Yeah,
there's almost too much quality.
It's too much quality.
Sums it up.
Yeah, it does. It does, yeah, to a T.
Great bunch of lads.
Fuck.
So we had an eclipse.
We did.
Worst eclipse ever.
But I think it was the best one I've
arranged. It wasn't even a full one.
It wasn't really a full one last time in '99.
Was it not? Oh, where were you?
We went to Devon, I think.
Oh, right.
I don't remember it.
I was at Lytham, on the beach at Lytham.
In '99.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite good. Ooh. We projected through a cornflakes packet. I'll send you the photo. Did I send you the photo?
I don't know. Okay. I don't look at it.
Fine. Yeah. Yeah, we did the whole thing through 2 bits of paper, one with a hole in.
Right.
Sort of thing.
Oh, to see the effect.
To see the effect.
Do you not just look at the sun?
No, you don't do that.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thought you stayed indoors.
It was kind of painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just looked from that out the back. I just looked out the back. Yeah, there's all sorts of crusty retina you can damage.
Yeah,
yeah. So don't do it, obviously, unless you're a Giga Chad. you can kind of handle it.
Or already blind.
Yeah, just small, sharp bursts of infrared radiation on your retina. It's fine.
Wow. You heard it here first and last.
Yeah. No, I thought it didn't go very dark. I didn't think it went very dark at all.
Right, yeah, it only goes properly dark when it's a total eclipse.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's only like a partial one.
It's amazing how much light there is when 90% of the sun is blocked. It was still bright as fuck when it was at its fullest.
Any unusual avian activity?
No, I think that's because it was close to the end of the day anyway.
Wow.
Whereas last time it was in the morning, wasn't it?
I saw a flock of seagulls go mental.
Go mental?
Yeah, the hairstyle.
Stabbing each other up and shit.
Not the bird.
Oh, the flock of the band?
Yeah, no, there's like about 10 seagulls started flying around in a circle, squawking.
Oh, really?
Going nuts.
Okay.
So I consulted my augure's manual.
Are you throwing chips at him?
I tried to predict who the next King of England would be.
Oh, yeah.
Based on the...
Who was it?
Interestingly, not one of the sons.
Oh, really?
No.
Is it Jamie Carragher?
Bit old.
Is he old?
He's older than William, man.
Is he?
Yeah.
I don't know these people.
No, I predicted someone called Damien.
Damien
would be the next king of England. King Damien.
Sitting on the Iron Throne.
Yeah. Damon.
Damon
Targaryen.
Nice.
No, I didn't really do any augury. I don't believe in that stuff. I'm not superstitious.
Fine.
Not like them Romans.
You're better than that.
Yeah. Nonsense, innit? Fucking birds. We'll look at the way the birds are flying. I'll predict the future.
Wild. They're not
Honestly.
real anyway, birds.
Although, apparently there is a pig farmer in the States who can look at I think it's the kidney of the pig and predict what kind of season they're going to have.
The nephrons, does he look at?
I don't know. What's the nephrons? It's a type of cell.
No, I think that's just
Are they like the
structure
archons
of a kidney? I might be wrong.
Is it where an archon has a baby with a Nephilim?
I think so.
They become the nephrons.
And they have massive kidneys, so you can properly get in and have a look what's going on.
They're probably rhesus negative as well.
I reckon.
And ginger.
So. Definitely ginger. Green eyes.
Yeah.
Like
Genghis Khan.
That's true.
Vlad the Impaler.
Tell me more about this pig shit.
There is some sort of legitimacy in it, in that apparently there is a biochemical mechanism for it to do with the pig's diet.
Yeah.
Almost predicting the future. It's like the pig knows what's going to happen before the weather. I don't know. I read this story fucking 10 years ago, but there was some sort of logic in it that it wasn't. What's Arthur C. Clarke? Any technology sufficiently sophisticated will be undiscernible from magic, right? So a pig farmer in the States can look at a pig's kidney and predict the next season, the weather.
Okay.
It's technology. It's not. We would call that witchcraft in the past.
Yeah.
And he would be burnt at the stake, but it's not. It's a kind of. It's a subtle technology. It's about being in tune with the animal, learning pattern recognition.
Yeah,
if you cut up enough
nitrogen things,
cut up enough pigs' livers at that time of the year, you might see a pattern that would be otherwise occulted from you. Yeah, so I think there's something in it, but not the birds. I'm not buying the bird flight. No. Although. I'm going to go off piste here. Don't birds use geomagnetism for navigation?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder if birds pick up on subtle differences in the magnetic field of the Earth.
I think they probably do.
And
I think they definitely do.
Of a sufficient magnitude could cause real-world effects that humans would notice day to day.
Well, that's probably the sort of thing that triggers migration. So during certain seasons, and whether if a seasonal change didn't occur, would a migration not occur? And we go, oh, that's a bit weird.
Maybe have a look if there's a Nibiru has entered our orbit.
Maybe it was Nibiru who was occulting the sun last week.
Oh my gosh! Well, I wouldn't know. I wasn't there.
No.
They told us it was the moon, but how do I know?
I know. I've never been to the moon.
Apparently, the Babylonians could predict eclipses with pretty good accuracy.
Yeah.
3,000 years ago.
Yeah. That's why we know like when the next one is and when the next
observation. I think, well, I presume they rely on computer models and stuff to predict stuff now.
You could probably get a simulated image of it. And what interests me is to know how far in the future that, eclipses aren't going to be total anymore because whatever, the moon's moving out.
I don't buy that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, bear with me. So I think the consensus or the status quo is that the moon moves like 100 mil or 3 inches away.
I don't
every
know
year,
exact, but yeah,
something like that. It's not a lot, like 70 mil, 3 inches, something. And my argument always is, our planet lives in cycles. We exist in
I
cycles.
think it comes in and moves away.
Just because you observed something since the moon landing.
Is that when it was
when they put the mirror on?
Oh, right, the mirror, yeah.
It might have been the 70s.
Oh, shit, that's not a lot of time.
It's not a lot of time to extrapolate
Whether
that
it's,
it will leave our orbit.
Yeah.
Once it gets far. That's what I'm saying.
So, yeah, 'cause it could be on a 500-year cycle.
It could be on a 5 million year cycle.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I just think it's. I'm not having a
At
go.
the current rate of travel of the moon, it would change and whatever.
It's just hubristic
The
to
sun
take
getting
that
bigger as well.
To take that leap.
Yeah.
Right. That's
And
all I'm saying.
it's an interesting thing to say because you go, oh, aren't we lucky? We're living in time when
The
this is
perfect time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's probably the angle behind it. But you're right. There's probably not enough, and I don't know, but there's probably not enough data to kind of prove that. And it's completely irrelevant anyway.
And what if you run the clock back? So how close would the moon have been?
Well, when you
100,000
said
years ago?
Babylonians, I thought, oh, I wonder if the eclipses were like lasted longer or whatever because the moon was closer or and the sun was a bit smaller. But even 3,000 years is nothing.
Well, eclipses, if the 4-inch per year hypothesis turns out to be true, then eclipses will cease to be, won't they, eventually?
Well, it'll just become, eventually it'll just be a transit. Like I saw the
Like
transit of
Venus.
Mercury or Venus, yeah.
I don't know. Just, I don't know. Skepticism, I guess it is, isn't it? It could be right, the whole moon leaving the orbit. I just, I won't put any weight behind that theory.
No.
On the timescales that we're dealing with when, unless you're a creationist or whatever.
Yeah.
We've probably been around
Fair
for
play.
tens and tens of thousands of years. Well, hundreds of thousand years as anatomical humans. Maybe 300,000 years. But again, as Fuck Graham Hancock always says, things keep getting older, don't they?
Yeah,
who knows how long we've been here?
Imagine if you're sat on Neptune. We'll ignore the physics for now. But you'd be sick of eclipses and transits. You'd be having a bloody time. And for ages, fucking Jupiter, it's cold for a month.
Right, yeah. It's funny how they're all on the same plane.
Yeah, that is
largely.
weird.
I don't think they are actually quite on the
I
same
think
plane.
Is it Neptune that's on like a bit of a wazzy angle?
It's a bit pissed.
Yeah,
Neptune's a bit pissed.
Isn't Neptune or Saturn? One of them goes backwards, I think. a retrograde orbit. They're mental out there.
Mercury's retrograde, isn't it?
Is it?
Isn't it?
I don't know. That sounds like something an astrologer might say.
It all looks very neat and tidy to me with the sort of all on the same plane and the ellipses. I know it's shorthand for school kids and stuff, but I just think there's probably more going on than we realize. And then you think like the solar system's in an orbit.
Yeah.
Around the Milky Way. And presumably the Milky Way is in an orbit.
Yeah.
Around I don't know. I still cling on to the theory that the Sol is paired with Sirius, that we live in a binary system. That's a really fascinating one to me.
I mean, that could be, if you think about, you might think, oh, fuck, no, they're so far apart and space is so big and all that, but they are so close together and space is so big. It's like, it's bonkers. I think if everything was scaled down to like, and the sun was the size of a white blood cell or something,
right?
Our galaxy would cover most of the continental United States, I think. It's nuts. It's a nuts amount of distance. And most of that is just empty space. Literal space.
But
there's nothing there.
We're empty space.
I know that. I was going to say that. We're all nothing. We're all made
above,
of nothing.
so below.
You are nothing.
Oh, I just had a flashback. Careers office.
Always remember, you are nothing.
Well, on that note, I think we should sign off for the night. It's a good place to end, I think.
Yeah. Cheer
Just
up.
Have something to add.
Yeah.
Any parting parting thoughts you want to leave the?
No, I think that's good.
With that? I think it's a good ending.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week. Matt's back next week, and you're away. I think
I'm away. Yeah.
Who have we got next week? I think. Talking about St. Michael before. I think we've got Alan Denny back next week.
Oh yeah.
So we might be talking about the Michael line.
Nice.
Is
that like the Elizabeth line?
It's like on the tube.
Yep.
Michael line.
Nice.
And so have a nice week. Don't have nightmares. Look after each other and yourselves and each other.
Yeah. And remember, you're nothing. Love you. Bye.
There's almost too much quality.
Get raging star images everywhere.
I am a gooner.
Isle of Cocks.
Are you not entertained? I love you.
Epic dub.
Asna!
I like what you got. Good job.
Who'd you kick it out of?
I'm a fucking asshole.
You're becoming a doctor of thugonomics.
You don't give a fuck. Roast the shit out of me.
Fuck's sake, you cunt.
There's almost too much quality.